Hi guys, today I wanted to talk about memory and the importance of being able to effectively harness your memory when working as a conference interpreter. I go back to my Masters in Conference Interpreting at the University of Bath, and I remember that we were originally introduced to consecutive mode with these memory exercises. It was called consecutive without note-taking. And it can be quite challenging. Naturally, the longer the utterance, the more difficult it becomes. Because first of all, you have to listen and understand the original, you have to process that information, retain it, and then reproduce it in your mother tongue. And there's a lot naturally going on there. I remember one student in particular who went on to be a brilliant interpreter, EU-UN freelance staff test at the first time of asking. He was particularly adept at this exercise, and he later revealed to me it was because he developed the memory palace technique. That piqued my interest. I went to Google what a memory palace was all about, and I explored that, albeit rather superficially. It wasn't until many years later that I decided to actually look into it in greater depth. What a memory palace is, it's a familiar route that you can imagine very easily in your mind's eye, and then you simply go along that route, scattering and planting information along the way with the aim of trying to retain all of that information and being able to readily access it. I found a book on my Kindle which was actually a concrete example of a memory palace. I believe that was the title of the book. I'll put the link in the description to this. And the challenge here was to try and name and memorise, naturally, all 37 of Shakespeare's plays in order. I did this 3 days ago. I reread the Kindle. I've had a couple of attempts at recalling it since. And on the first day, 10 minutes afterwards, I got all 37. The following day, I think I missed one. 2 days later, I may have missed two. And today, I think there were 3 which I omitted. So having looked at it only a couple of hours ago and seeing the ones that I've omitted, I hope I'll be able to remember these. But I have a face mask to hand, given the period that we're living in. And I think it only fair to make sure that there's no cheating here. So bear with me. I'm going to give it a go. Two Gentlemen of Verona, The Taming of the Shrew, Henry VI, Part 2, Part 3, Part 1, Titus Andronicus, Richard III, A Comedy of Errors, Love's Labour's Lost, Richard II, Romeo and Juliet, A Midsummer Night's Dream, The Life and Death of King John, The Merchant of Venice, Henry IV, Part 1, The Merry Wives of Windsor, Henry IV, Part 2, Much Ado About Nothing, Henry V, Julius Caesar, As You Like It, Hamlet, Twelfth Night, Troilus and Cressida, Measure for Measure, Othello, King Lear, Timon of Athens, Macbeth, Antony and Cleopatra, All's Well That Ends Well, Pericles, Coriolanus, A Winter's Tale, Cymbeline, The Tempest, Henry VIII. Let's see how I got on. So there you have it. Against all odds, I actually got all 37 right in order, but this is not a particularly impressive feat. It's nothing more than a parlour game or a trick. That's all very well and good, but I'm very curious as to see whether I can use this memory palace technique, whether I can harness this exercise and envisage that route when I need it most, when it's live, when you're under pressure, when the information is coming in thick and fast. Can you really use that memory palace exercise? I'm thinking about football. At times there are instances where you have a handheld microphone and naturally something's got to give. You don't have enough hands to be able to hold the mic, have a pen and a notepad and be able to take your notes and do it consecutively. So maybe it's good to have a certain capacity of short-term memory, maybe up to a minute or 90 seconds. That would be absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to do a simulation on the next video. I'm going to try and find a live speech, a short utterance, and try and see how much I'm able to remember using the memory palace technique fully aware of the fact that actually in some ways with these initial exercises it can almost disrupt you more than if you were just to rely on techniques using your memory and just trying to really concentrate on the message. Anyway, let me know if you have ever used a memory palace technique, whether you are familiar with it, what you think of it, the pros and cons. I'll be trying to explore that in due course. As ever, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done already, and keep commenting as well, guys. Really enjoying the process, enjoying making these videos. Hope you're enjoying watching them too. Cheers.